Hey everyone, we're students from Georgia State Physical Therapy, and we're going to show you a few strengthening and balance exercises that are proven by research to help reduce fall risk in the elderly. So the most important thing to keep in mind when you're doing these is safety. And one of the best ways to increase safety is using a gait belt here. So at the beginning of your session, you're always going to want to make sure that you have a belt around your patient. So I'm going to slide the belt down around the patient's waist here. Make sure it's tight. And this allows you to hold from the back to kind of help guide the patient and decrease their fall risk. Go. If you don't have a gait belt, you can also make sure that the patient is wearing a belt or kind of grip at their waistline of their pants for the same effect.
So the first exercise we're going to show you today is the sit to stand. We're going to have our subject take his arms and put them around his shoulders like this. He's going to sit down to the chair, briefly touch it, and then he's going to come right back up. And that's going to be 1 repetition. Today we're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions. As a caregiver, you want to focus on the patient, make sure that they're not having their knees come inward, as Joey's demonstrating right now. So knees aligned right over the toes, back up straight, and that constitutes a good repetition. If the exercise is too difficult for the patient, you can raise the chair or add something like a pillow to make it a little bit higher.
It's easier. All right, now the next exercise we're going to do is going to be an exercise called standing marches. So right now we have my subject Malvin here. So first you're going to start off staying next to a chair or a countertop with your hands on the chair or countertop, keeping you stable. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your hands like that. You're going to slowly lift up your leg, just like that, and then lift up your other leg. Now I was going to keep on doing these, and you do them for 3 sets of 10. Now caregivers, you really want to make sure that they're nice and balanced, so you got to get up nice and close and make sure everything's safe. A way to make this more difficult is that they can start taking their hands away if their balance is good enough, just like that, and you got to make sure you're nice and safe. And now here's a sideways view for this exercise. And remember, it's important to do 3 sets of 10 here.
So the next thing we're going to do today is balance. So the first thing is called a Romberg stance. So the subject here, my friend Connor, he's going to close his feet. So you'll be close together just like that. And you can hold on to a countertop or a chair or something like that. 1 hand or 2 hands, whichever your preference. But you're just going to stand there and try to hold that balance. And we're going to hold that for 30 seconds and we're going to do it 3 times. Okay, so the next balance exercise we're going to do today is called a tandem stance. Same thing, Connor's going to hold a countertop or a chair just for support if needed. And let me have you bring 1 foot in front of you, 1 behind. And ideally you want to try to keep the feet touching. But if you can't do that, you can spread it apart a little bit. And you're just going to hold that stance right here. And you're going to hold it for 30 seconds. We're going to do 3 reps of it. And then we're going to switch sides. We go ahead and switch sides. And you want to make sure, caregivers, to keep close to the patient, and just to make sure that they don't have any risk of falls or anything. All right, and the last balance exercise we're going to do today is the single leg stance. So Connor over here is going to hold his assistant, and that should be on the opposite side of what leg is going to be placed on the ground. So right now the chair is on the right side, and he's going to lift his right leg, and he's going to hold that for 30 seconds, and we're going to do 3 reps of it. And caretakers, be sure to be careful and be right next to the patient just to make sure that, again, they don't have any risk of falls. And then go ahead, relax. And then when you do the other side, you want to make sure the assistance is on the opposite side. So now, let me have you lift your left leg, and same thing, caretakers, be close to them and make sure they're standing straight. And we're going to do 30 seconds for this one, 3 reps.
So the next exercise we're going to show is a standing hip exercise. The patient is going to hold onto a chair. You're going to lean over slightly and they're extend their leg backwards. And again, for this, we're going to do 3 sets of 10. So the patient can use the chair for balance as needed, or the caregiver can supply balance as well. All right, so the next exercise here is another hip one. It's to work on the muscles on the outside of the hip. So you're going to have the patient slightly bring his foot behind him, and he's going to move it out to the side. He's going to do it slow and controlled, again for 3 sets of 10. We'll have him do a couple reps here to demonstrate.
All right, next exercise is a calf raise. So same setup as the last one, hands on a countertop or a chair. And from there, Alex is gonna come up onto his toes and come back down, slow and controlled, 3 sets of 10.
All right, now for this last exercise here, we're gonna work on stepping over small objects in the forwards, backwards, and each sideways direction. What you're gonna wanna do first as a caretaker, you're gonna put down a flat object, like a book or a piece of paper, nothing raised, because this makes it as safe as possible. And basically you're gonna have the patient step over the obstacle. So you're gonna guard them and have them step over. There you go, and now backwards. There you go, now that's 1. So we're gonna do 10 of these, really focusing on getting that leg up and over that obstacle. Now again, it is very important to make sure this patient is safe and that you're kind of with them the whole time. All right, now we just did this in the forward and backwards direction. Now we're gonna focus on doing it side to side. So Joey will go right there, we go. And now back this way. Now that's 1 rep, we're gonna do 10 overall. And again, making sure everything's safe and controlled. And we're going at a nice steady pace.
That concludes our exercise program. Some things to keep in mind throughout the course of the exercises are to make sure that you're giving the patients frequent breaks throughout for about 1 to 2 minutes in between each exercise. Also, keep in mind to observe how the patient is responding to each exercise and make sure to either progress or regress the exercises appropriately. So for progression, you can just simply increase the amount of reps or the time of stance. And then for regression, you can just decrease the time. You can provide more surfaces for them to balance on and things of that nature. We'll include our contact information at the end of the video so that you can reach out to us with any questions. Thank you.